Back when I was a younger man, I did some work for a hotshot writer in Southern California. And whenever I would come up with a particularly stupid idea, he wouldn't look at me and say I was stupid. He would say, "Colin, I admire your innocence." And so when one of our many viewers and readers in St. Louis sent me this recent article from the major daily out there about why teachers are quitting in St. Louis classrooms, well, I read the article and I read down, and when I was finished, the only thing I could say is, I admire their innocence, because the only other explanation is we have to condemn their denial, deceit, and delusion. Why don't we just get to the money graph of the latest report? This story goes on and on and on. The teachers are quitting. They can't even get substitute teachers in St. Louis schools. And it talks about how, the kids are watching TV or just kicking a dodgeball around in gym class, and just a lot of mayhem, a lot of chaos. Why don't we get to the money graph here? One of the school administrators said she could only guess as to why teachers left. But she suspects pay. They're paid $40,000 a year. By the way, if you're a teacher in an urban, air quotes, district, you get lots of money from the federal government. They give you a loan while you're in school. And if you work 4 years in an underserved district, a black district, you basically get a lot of these loans forgiven. Even that is not enough to keep these teachers in the schools. The conditions are so ridiculous. And so the school won't admit that, but the reporter basically at least tips her hat to it at some part in the story. Classroom environment, specifically student discipline, may also play a role. Last year was the first year the district halted suspensions for kindergarten and second grade. The policy was intended to keep students in school and learning. But that year, Frenchie, the school, lost all of her K through 2 teachers. And this Frenchie administrator says, well, yeah, we got to teach them all this different stuff. They don't know anything coming out of college. Teachers are coming out of college. They're not coming from a place where they're equipped to deal with some of these social, emotional traumas that we experience in urban education. As a result, it tends to create traumatized adults. The new teachers are overwhelmingly white women. When they go to teach in black schools, they become traumatized. Hold on to that thought, because we're going to hear it again. I don't know why anybody would say a teacher is traumatized when, if you listen to the ACLU and the Department of Justice under Obama, it was the students who were being traumatized, because all these white teachers were picking on black students and suspending them and expelling them, apparently for no reason whatsoever, all the time, while they ignored the white students. In the neighboring school district, Normandy School District, I think that's the school district of St. Michael Brown of Ferguson. They did, the same paper did a story on this just a couple years ago. Exact same story. It's like, hey, what happened to all the teachers? Why do the new teachers quit? Some crazy number of new teachers quit, like in the first couple weeks, like 40%. And so the paper figured it out back then. They didn't have any trouble figuring out what was wrong then. And the answer is, why is there so much violence in schools? Why is there so much violence against teachers? Why do so many teachers have such poor success in these black schools? The answer is, quote, many new teachers are white and previously taught in more affluent suburban schools. Some are struggling to connect with their students, most of whom are black and come from impoverished backgrounds. And don't make the black kids angry. We tell stories of one district after another, whether it's Philadelphia or Baltimore or Milwaukee or Memphis, over and over and over and over. The teachers are under attack. They're quitting. They're being traumatized. Anybody who watches this channel for any period of time knows we've done a lot of these stories. But apparently the people who write for the St. Louis paper, they're not really familiar with them. So I thought, why don't we just pluck out a few recent ones, maybe one or two classic ones, and why don't we just run them right now, just as a reminder to everybody, the unbelievable level of violence in black schools directed at white teachers and black teachers.
The principal says it started in the cafeteria with a fight among 3 students, but when a staff member intervened, someone else took out their phone and matters only escalated. Video recorded on Snapchat shows a staff member breaking up a fight between students. When the altercation turned physical, assistant principal Brian Brennan was violently taken down. Students are shown pulling and hitting Brennan for more than 10 seconds. Another staff member tries to help, but also gets caught in the brawl.
Look at that.
Moments later, a school resource officer struggles to get a hold of the students. County police confirm a 15-year-old and 2 16-year-olds were taken into custody. Police say Brennan was taken to urgent care. Tonight, as police investigate, administrators are assessing school policies to prevent another incident.
After any kind of altercation, we always discuss, things like, is there something else that we need to be doing?
In Oakville,
despite the tens of millions of dollars taxpayers are pouring into the Normandy School District, some schools are gripped by a climate of violence, frightening to many students and teachers alike.
Tonight, a teacher explains how she was pepper sprayed during a student brawl. Investigator Elliot Davis exposes the troubling environment in tonight's You Paid For It.
Normandy school board members didn't want to talk to me about the violence at the North County District that lost accreditation. But Dawn Baldesi, a Normandy school teacher, is speaking out. She was attacked while trying to break up a fight during school involving a dozen 9th grade girls.
One of the girls, she had pulled out some dog repellent pepper spray, sprayed me in the face, in my hair, down my arms. And I went into a major asthma attack, and they had to call the nurse over.
Is administration doing enough to deal with the violence?
I don't think they are. I think right now we're so worried about accreditation that is the priority right now.
A state education department graph shows the number of school incidents down dramatically statewide, while there's a sharp increase in the Normandy School District. I obtained this record of incidents in the Normandy School District since last year. Just look at this. Page after page of trouble. Of the 182 incidents since last July, 24 fights, 21 incidents of bullying, 1 sexual assault, 3 other sex-related infractions, 2 robberies, 2 loaded guns found on the parking lot, 6 assaults on staff. Are teachers fearful of it, Normandy?
Many of them are. Many of them won't talk. We had a teacher that was threatened to have, slapped out of her. An SSD teacher had threatened to have his neck snapped, and he sent that student to the office, and the student was back in his class within 15. Had a teacher that has been choked.
Right now, Dawn is placed on administrative leave, accused of discussing a matter she thinks the district is just trying to shut her up.
I've been very verbal about the violence at school. They get to school, you've got kids that are in tears in the morning, you've got kids that are hiding.
Well, this teacher shocked those listening to her allegations here at the school board, including one episode involving 2 students, a fight, and a broken calculator.
I had a student take a calculator and beat another student upside the head, broke the calculator, was not suspended.
Math teacher Danita Martin's tales of school terror prompted gasps from this crowd.
Another student got the scissors and started making a stabbing motion. When I went to administration, they said, well, he was already suspended earlier today. What am I supposed to do?
Martin told members of the Shelby County School Board that student behavior at Grandview Heights Middle is at an all-time low.
I'm called by my students gay, lesbian, dyke, sir, and my favorite, white girl.
She cited the ongoing verbal assaults as primary reasons for her pending resignation.
Students tell me, who the F-bomb do you think you're speaking to? And shut the F up talking to me. But they go unpunished.
When the teachers try to control them, they even irate with the teachers.
Parent Latrina Robinson came up to us during dismissal Wednesday to offer her account on the state of students here.
They shouldn't have to come to school and be worried about being picked on and teased on and all that. And then they come up here and be like they just got it under control, and they don't. They can't control these kids.
She said she's moving her son out of the school as soon as possible, following the lead of at least one teacher.
Way 31 created an investigative unit. We're calling it the I-Team. Over the past month, the I-Team looked into complaints about students assaulting teachers at a school in Huntsville. The interim superintendent calls it fake news. Well, Mr. Drake, we don't do fake news. And Way 31's Heather Mathis will prove that by showing you pictures of injuries and complaints filed by teachers who are concerned about what will happen next.
Something bad is going to happen. It is a ticking time bomb in this school.
For the first time since Way 31 broke the story, 4 teachers from Rolling Hills Elementary School in Huntsville are showing you the injuries they claim students caused in the classroom.
It is a dangerous place to go to work.
They stepped forward after Interim Superintendent Tom Drake tried to deny Way 31's discovery about students attacking teachers.
Folks, there's been some fake news about Rolling Hills.
It was really a slap in the face to say this was fake news.
One of those teachers gave us these pictures of injuries suffered after they claim a student threw a chair at her. The injury sent her to an emergency clinic.
I do not feel it's part of my job to be assaulted every day.
Another teacher showed us this picture of a bullet they claim they found outside of their classroom door.
They find knives. They find bullets. These kids might be coming to school armed and ready to go. I'm scared.
I don't know if you've seen elementary kids or not, but they're the cutest little thing there was. They'll come up and they'll hug your leg, but I might also kick you in the shin. And I want to make it clear that for the most part, I'm talking about accidents, not assaults.
These are not accidents when a child comes up to you and hits you as hard as he can. It's not an accident when a child throws a chair at you.
Way 31 wanted to know more, so we requested all of the injury reports from Rolling Hills Elementary School over the last 2 years. We uncovered 14 different reports of students injuring teachers. 4 of them listed that they sought medical attention. One because she claims a student hit her in the ear with a phone receiver, causing headaches and vomiting. Another shows a student flipped a desk, landing on the teacher's feet.
I don't understand how that's an accident. They mean to hurt you. I think that maybe they feel ashamed of what's going on. They want to cover it up.
Huntsville City Schools is under a federal desegregation order by the Department of Justice. It says the district punishes minority students unfairly compared to white children and listed a series of corrections. These teachers believe the district is turning a blind eye to their complaints because of the DOJ order.
Nobody understands how bad it is. Like, come into the school, sit a full day, witness it firsthand, and you will see how much assistance and help we need.
We dug through the Huntsville City Schools HR reports. They show since May 2014, 28 teachers have quit. Since our sit-down interview, 2 teachers we spoke with also resigned, saying they were scared for their safety.
How many of these stories do you want of entire schools, entire school districts, where black violence in the classroom is wildly out of proportion? Entire schools are nothing but occasions of chaos, mayhem, and violence. And every single one of those occasions of chaos, mayhem, and violence is also provides us with more examples of denial, deceit, and delusion on the part of the school boards and school administrators to try to pretend like something else is happening other than what really is happening. The teachers know what's happening. We spend a lot of time talking to teachers and don't make the black kids angry. Traumatized. That's the word. Even for teachers who are down with the cause. Even for teachers who don't figure out, but just because they're down with the cause is not down with them. Even for teachers who know with every ounce of their being that no matter what else happens in that school, under no conditions can they make the black kids angry.